Welcome to Pretty Good. Today we are going to solve question number 14, longest common prefix in Swift. So let's go through the description. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string amongst an array of strings. If there is no common prefix, return an empty string. So let's go through one of the example to understand the question. So here the inputs strs strings is flower, flow and flight. If you see the common prefix is the part which is available at the beginning and suffix is at the end. So we are talking here about the prefix. If you see in all three words we have fl common. So in flower, flow, flight, FL is common. That's why the output we are returning is going to be FL. Next example. So here strings are dog, race car and car. But if you see there are no common prefix among these three words. So what we return? We return an empty string. Keeping this in mind, let's start our problem. So here I have already taken the example from the given question, which is flow, flower and flight, and this is the rough pseudocode for our solution. The most common solution which we are going to use to solve this problem is like using a for loop and a while loop. I will explain how it is gonna work. So first what we'll do, P is representing the prefix. It is going to be the first word of my string array. So this is my strings array, strs, and from there I have picked the very first item. So currently my prefix is pointing to flow. Next we will run a for loop for each item. Now we will check while my string has the prefix p. Currently p is pointing to flow. If it is, then we would break the loop of while and it will go to iterate for the for loop. If it is not, then what we'll do, we will drop one last element from the prefix. So it would start pointing to FLO. Similarly, if it is still not available in the current word, it would drop one more element. So it will become FL. And once it is matching, like once the word has the prefix FL, then it will break the while loop and it will go to the next word. So let's understand this with the iteration. Here the very first word is flow. So as per the code, my P is what? Prefix for me, right? So P is pointing to flow in the for loop. So my first iteration of for is having flow, and inside that it will check while my string has a prefix flow. So what my string is, current string is also flow, because this is the first word of my array. So it will check it will check flow, does it have the prefix as flow? Then yes, because we have taken our first word as the prefix, so of course it is going to have the flow as its prefix. So it will break the while loop and it will go to the next iteration of for loop. So while would be broken. In my next iteration, the word is flower. So if you see, it will directly go to the while loop. It will check if the prefix is available. So does my word str, which is representing flower, has prefix flow? Then if you see, it contains flow. So it is having the prefix as flow, flow, then while loop would be broken and it will go to the third iteration of the for loop. In the third iteration, if you see, the word is flight. Now we take flight. In the while loop directly it will jump into and it will check, does my string which is representing flight has prefix? Then if you see, it does not have because it is looking for flow, but it has FLIGHT. So what it will do, as per the code, my prefix would start pointing to P dot drop last, which means it will eliminate the last element. So now P will be equal to FLO, right? Now what it will do, it will again check in the while loop, does FLO, now it will again check in the while loop, does flight contain FLO? If you see, it does not contain, then again what it will do in the next iteration of while loop, P will drop its last again, so it will become FL, right? Now again it will check, does my flight contain FL? Yes, it does contain, so while loop will be broken. If you see, there are only 3 words in the array, so my for loop will also be broken. So at the end what we will do, we would simply return P, which is nothing but my prefix, so it will return FL. So this is the logic behind this problem. Let's solve it in the lead code. The problem in lead code. So our first condition would be, if my string array is empty, then we would just return an empty array. No need to go further. Now I would create my prefix variable which will take strings first word. So the very first element would be assigned to prefix. Then we would go for this for loop, str in strings, and the while loop would be while if str dot has prefix pref, then we would drop the last word. So we are converting it into the string, then pref dot drop last, right? And then at the end we would return pref. So this is going to be our solution. Let's submit and check. Okay, so the solution has been accepted. See you in the next video.